Hello, clever people, and welcome to my review for A Monster Calls. So A Monster Calls is the new film directed by J.A. Boana, who directed The Impossible, and it revolves around the story of a young boy named Connor O'Malley. His mother, played by Felicity Jones, is going through a lot of tough times. She has cancer and is slowly becoming weaker and weaker and having a harder time living. While this is happening, Connor's grandmother, who's played by Sigourney Weaver, is starting to come in a little bit more and has to try to teach Connor certain things, despite the fact that Connor does not like her much. So A Monster Calls was a movie I was very, very much excited for. I read the book going into it, and I absolutely thought it was amazing. A Monster Calls, the book, is just so well written. It's got beautiful animation. It's just got so many stunning things. It's really a phenomenal read. And because of that, naturally, I was excited for the movie. So going in, I was very much excited for it. I thought that it could be a really good movie, and I came out definitely saying that this was a very, very well put together movie with a fantastic combination of a kid tone and of adult themes. The entire idea of this movie is growing up. It's this one boy, Connor O'Malley, faced in a tough situation, and he has to start growing up, and while this is happening, a monster just so happens to be there to tell him these life lessons. And the way this was done was by combining a very, kiddish tone, where you see a lot of things from a kid perspective, and then a lot of adult themes, and how the kid tone slowly, just progressively and progressively got more of an adult feel to it. I really enjoyed seeing this because too many coming-of-age movies have it so that it starts out with one tone and it's just hard-hitting reality, and it's the character that goes through it learning about that hard-hitting reality. But that is not what A Monster Calls was at all. It had a kid tone and slowly went into adult tone. And while that may throw some people off, I think that it very much benefited the movie. And as far as themes goes, you do get a really unique and mature theme with this movie, which is that hope does not solve everything. It's a really important theme that needs to be embraced more, because too often it's the theme of hope will solve everything that is put into movies, and you need to have hope in order to get through it. But we've seen that theme done multiple times on screen, and it's really nice to see a fresh, unique theme that has not been really put to screen before. And another part of that mature tone is the humanizing of characters. At the beginning of the movie, each character is sort of black and white. You sort of just see one side to them, and you don't really see anything else. And I thought for a while that would probably be one of my negatives, that the characters were one-sided. But as the film progressed, it got more and more apparent that Connor was starting to learn that the world was not black and white, that it was in a gray area, that there were lots of people that had bad intentions and good intentions, and did bad things and did good things. It wasn't all good and bad, and that, again, made it feel more like a human movie. I also gotta say that this movie's cinematography is absolutely stunning. You get these fantastic shots of the monster walking, or just of Connor standing at a hospital. Just certain shots like that where, it's sort of blurred on certain things that aren't apparent to Connor, and then Connor is the only thing that's in focus. Or with the monster, he'll be walking and you'll only see it from looking up perspective, because it's like Connor looking up at the monster. Certain things like that made it so that you could really get into the character and sort of feel the situation that was going on around him. The stories, too, the three of them, though, some may view them as sort of just a little, path that just goes off and doesn't really do much. The way that it's incorporated and the animation on it is just fantastic. Something else I liked about this movie is that Connor, the main character, was not a perfect kid. Too many times you have it so that the main character, you feel sympathy for them because they're this perfect kid that's going through this awful situation. And that's where most of the emotion comes from. But with A Monster Calls, it's very, very different, because it's just a normal kid who has normal feelings towards things that is going through a rough time. If I had to come up with an issue with the film, I would say that the pacing felt a bit odd multiple times throughout the movie. I feel like this movie, though it was an hour and 47 minutes, I feel like it was too short. I think that maybe if instead of making it a fast-paced movie that goes on very quickly, I would have liked to sort of seen this entire film as a very slow-paced movie. Sort of like Moonlight earlier this year. Moonlight, very, very slow-paced movie, but part of that is that it was effective because of how slow-paced it was, and I think A Monster Calls would have benefited from something like that. You would have felt the weight of the situation more. You would have felt that for Connor, this was dragging on and on and on, and it got more and more tiring, and that he didn't really have that feeling that anything was going to happen, that he just sort of felt like he was stuck in the same situation that was going on in a paradoxical nature. And because of this fast pace, it doesn't really let things, it doesn't let things expand. It doesn't let things branch out. You don't really get too much on certain things that you wish that you could have gotten more on. So in the end, A Monster Calls is a film I definitely recommend. It's going to be out of theaters very quickly because it bombed financially, but it's absolutely a film that you need to see. There are little subtle themes for the adults that will notice things, such as what the monster means. There are very upfront themes, and it perfectly combines a film that both kids and adults will enjoy. I'm going to give A Monster Calls a 7.5 out of 10. Alright, that concludes my review for A Monster Calls. What did you think of this film? Comment in the comment section below. I am Robert Burke, and this has been The Clever Critics. Goodbye.